The country of Portugal forms a part of the Iberian Peninsula lying in Europe. With a total population of approximately 10.3 million people and a land area of 92,212 square kilometers, Portugal's population distribution appears to be healthy enough at a little over 111 people per square kilometer. However, in reality, Portugal's interior is very sparsely populated, with low population densities and vast stretches of uninhabited land. In fact, people have estimated that up to 70% of the land in Portugal may actually be uninhabited. This means that the majority of Portugal's 10 million people are concentrated within just 30% of the land in the western and southern coastal regions of the country. So what are the factors that have contributed to this Portugal's topography has played a significant role in shaping its population distribution. The country's interior is dominated by rugged mountainous terrain, which can make it difficult to build infrastructure and access resources. The Serra da Estrela, located in central Portugal, is the highest mountain range in mainland Portugal, reaching a height of 1,993 meters above sea level. The region's harsh climate, with cold winters and snowfall, can make it less attractive for people to settle there. In addition to the Serra da Estrela, there are other mountainous regions in Portugal, including the Serra de São Mamed, located in the northeast, and the Serra do Caldeiro, located in the south. These mountainous ranges can make it difficult to build roads and other infrastructure, limiting access to these areas. The interior of Portugal is also home to vast stretches of forests, which can make it challenging to cultivate crops and build settlements. The Alentejo region in southern Portugal, for example, is home to one of the largest cork oak forests in the world. The region's economy has traditionally been based on agriculture, particularly cork production, but the terrain can make it difficult to access these resources. Furthermore, the rugged terrain of the interior has made it difficult for Portugal to develop its transportation infrastructure. The country's highways are primarily located along the coast, and many of the interior regions are only accessible via narrow, winding roads. As a result, it can take longer to travel through these regions, making them less attractive for businesses and residents. Overall, Portugal's topography has made it challenging to develop its interior regions and attract residents to these areas. However, there are still some small towns and villages in the interior that have managed to maintain their populations, and these areas can offer a unique and authentic experience for travelers looking to explore Portugal's less visited regions. Another factor that has contributed to the sparsely populated areas in Portugal is the country's diverse climate. Portugal's climate varies significantly depending on the region, with the north and central regions experiencing a cooler and wetter climate, while the south experiences a warmer and drier climate. The northern region of Portugal, including the Minho and Douro regions, receive higher levels of rainfall than the rest of the country. The region is characterized by a humid subtropical climate, which is characterized by mild winters and warm, wet summers. The rainfall in the Minho region, for example, averages around 1,500 millimeters per year, which is significantly higher than the country's average annual rainfall of 800 millimeters. In contrast, the southern region of Portugal, including the Algarve, experiences a Mediterranean climate, which is characterized by hot, dry summers and mild, wet winters. The region's average temperature in July is around 25 degrees Celsius, while the average temperature in January is around 12 degrees Celsius. The Algarve region receives less rainfall than the rest of the country, with an average annual rainfall of around 500 millimeters. The country's climate has also affected its agriculture, particularly in the south, where water scarcity can be a major issue. The region's primary crops include olives, figs, almonds, and grapes, all of which require significant amounts of water to grow. In recent years, the region has also been hit by droughts, which have had a significant impact on crop yields. The cooler and wetter regions of the north and central areas experience a lower population density than the warmer and drier regions of the south, while the southern region's warm climate and beautiful beaches have made it a popular tourist destination. The region's water scarcity can make it difficult to sustain a large permanent population. Apart from the geographical factors, the historical and economic development of Portugal has further strengthened this skewed distribution. In the 20th century, Portugal experienced a period of dictatorship under the regime of Antonio de Oliveira Salazar, which lasted from 1932 to 1968. During this time, the government pursued policies that favored the coastal regions over the interior regions, leading to significant disparities in economic development and population distribution. During Salazar's regime, the country's economy was focused primarily on agriculture, with little investment in infrastructure or education. This led to significant poverty and immigration, as many young people left the country in search of better opportunities abroad. In the 1960s, the government began promoting immigration as a solution to the country's economic problems, leading to a significant outflow of Portuguese citizens to countries like France, Germany, and the United States in search of employment opportunities and better lives. In 1974, the Carnation Revolution overthrew the dictatorship and paved the way for transition to democracy. The new government focused on modernizing the country's infrastructure and promoting economic development, leading to a period of rapid growth and urbanization. However, this growth was primarily concentrated in the coastal regions, particularly in and around Lisbon and Porto, while the interior regions continued to lag behind. The revolution also had an impact on Portugal's population density by leading to a decline in birth rates. The country's birth rate fell from around 20 births per 1,000 people in the 1960s to around 8 births per 1,000 people in the 1980s. This decline in birth rates, coupled with immigration, contributed to a significant decline in population in many of the country's interior regions. The country also underwent a significant transformation after the revolution, moving away from the agricultural-based economy to a more industrialized one. Historically, Portugal's economy was centered around agriculture, with many families relying on farming as their main source of income. However, after the revolution, the government began to promote industrialization as a way to modernize the economy and reduce reliance on agriculture. This shift led to a significant growth in the manufacturing sector and a decline in the importance of agriculture. As the country shifted towards a more industrialized economy, many people left their rural homes in the interior regions in search of better opportunities in the cities or abroad. In recent years, the Portuguese economy has continued to evolve, with a growing focus on services and technology sectors. While these sectors have driven significant economic growth in the coastal regions, many of the country's interior regions continue to struggle with depopulation and economic decline. The outflow of Portuguese citizens had an especially significant impact on the country's population distribution, particularly in the interior regions. Many of these areas were left with an aging population and a declining population density. The emigration of young people also led to a decline in birth rates in these regions, further exacerbating the population decline. Social factors, including cultural and linguistic differences, have also significantly contributed to Portugal's population distribution. Portugal is a diverse country with a rich cultural history, and this diversity is reflected in the country's different regions and their respective populations. One significant factor in Portugal's population distribution is regional identity and loyalty. People in different regions of Portugal have their own distinct dialects, cuisines, customs, and traditions, which have contributed to a sense of regional pride and identity. As a result, many people choose to live and work in their home regions rather than moving to other parts of the country. The interior regions of Portugal have historically been less developed and less populated than the coastal regions. The reasons for this disparity are complex and multifaceted, but the regional identity is certainly a factor. People from the interior regions may feel a stronger attachment to their home regions and may be less willing to move to other areas of the country. Another social factor that has affected Portugal's population distribution is immigration. Portugal has a significant immigration population, with many people coming from other Portuguese-speaking countries, such as Brazil and Angola. These immigrants tend to cluster in the coastal regions, particularly around Lisbon and Porto, further contributing to the concentration of population in these areas. Immigration has both positive and negative impacts on Portugal's population distribution. On the one hand, immigrants bring diversity and new perspectives to the country. On the other hand, they can also contribute to overcrowding and put pressure on resources in already densely populated areas. Currently, the population is heavily concentrated in the coastal regions, particularly around Lisbon and Porto, while the interior regions remain sparsely populated. This concentration can lead to a range of social and economic problems, including overcrowding, traffic congestion, and strains on resources such as housing and infrastructure. To address these issues, the government has implemented a range of policies and programs aimed at promoting regional development and attracting new residents to less populated areas. For example, the government has established regional development agencies and investment funds to support economic growth in the interior regions. The government has also introduced tax incentives and other benefits to encourage businesses and individuals alike to move to these areas. In addition, the government has invested in infrastructure projects such as highways, railways, and airports to improve connectivity between different regions and make it easier for people and businesses to access different parts of the country. Overall, these measures a more balanced and sustainable population distribution in Portugal by promoting economic growth and improving infrastructure in the interior regions, reducing the strain on the coastal regions. However, it will take time to see the full impact of these measures, and there are many challenges to overcome. For example, the interior regions may face difficulties in attracting new residents and businesses and limited economic opportunities. Despite these challenges, Portugal's government is committed to addressing the country's population distribution challenges and sustainable future for all its citizens. With continued investment and innovative policy solutions, the country may be able to achieve this goal in the years to come. And this is where we're going to end it for today, folks. We hope you enjoyed this video on the many factors that have caused Portugal's population to be distributed so unevenly. What did you think of all these factors? Do you think there's hope for the country's population distribution to change in the future? Let us know in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, smash that like and subscribe to the channel so you never miss out on another interesting topic. Thanks for watching.